All right, we are live.
Hey, Patriot family. This is round 2 of Open Mic. Thank you guys for joining us again. Guys, we have a lot to cover. I know we covered a lot about the Maduro capture by our lovely president and his Trump doctrine.
Don Rowe Doctrine.
I love it. I love it. I'm glad that we're doing that. But now we are going to shift into, well, how would you phrase this? You take that. How would you phrase that? The connections between Venezuela, the illegitimate president of Venezuela, and our elections. Are you ready to go? You ready to see what we're at?
Not me sharing it on different platforms right now.
I'm going to share it too, but
make sure that you guys like, share, and subscribe. Listen, this is something new that we're doing. Instead of going in and saying, "Oh, I wish we didn't get to everything. I wish we could get to more things." Listen, the things that are happening are so important. We'll recap this, I'm sure, in tomorrow's show for Open Mic a little bit at 10 a.m. If you're not tuning in at 10 a.m. Eastern, make sure you get that notification. Hit that notification button so you get notifications. We are actually going to segue now. And now that we've talked about, okay, Brianna's going in to fix something.
What is it from Instagram? Is Instagram flubbing?
Just let me do it. Don't announce it.
Oh, whatever. Look, we're very transparent here in Florida. At Open Mic. I'm going to say Florida.
Sunshine State. So where we had gone, guys, we had gone to, I'm sorry, don't read text messages when you're live.
No, don't do that. Why?
During our show, we chatted about, we tried to give a little bit of a history lesson on the Monroe Doctrine and why this is so important, what's taken place in Venezuela. Just a quick recap. You cannot infiltrate as a Eastern power into the Western Hemisphere. In 1853, that was taken care of by the 5th president of the United States, largely a Democrat, who said, James Monroe said, that's not going to cut it. Independence meant independence. That means you can't be our adversary from another country across the pond, come here, set up shop in one of the Americas and think that you're going to slowly infiltrate and take us over. Not cool. Not going to happen. 40 some presidents in the United States have sat this out and largely watched as it's happened. You think about the Bay of Pigs incident that took place in Cuba. We've had alarm bells ringing of what's taking place in Venezuela and other countries, in Latin America, that where China, Iran, Russia, I pronounce Iran differently every time. I don't know why that is, but they have come here to the Americas, right? And they have meddled and played games with these governments that are struggling, with people that have natural resources that they can make money off of, and the corrupt governments, they let them come in. That is an infiltration into the Western Hemisphere. Cannot happen under the Monroe Doctrine. Actually, it was thought of in 1853 as an act of war. As an act of war, y'all. I mean, so this is a huge thing. So we're well within our means for what Trump did. Maduro was already indicted in a New York court for being the narco kingpin of this hemisphere. So they just basically executed a warrant, in my opinion, by bringing him back. They could have done much worse. They didn't. They did take out the mausoleum that housed the shrine to Hugo Chavez. Don't shed a tear because the Venezuelan people aren't. But I want to now segue into, okay, that's our FAFO moment. Totally okay. Totally still America first, the way he did it and his reasons. But now, Allie, can we shed some light on some of the things that you've been sharing? And I love that you've been sharing this because there's reactions by those that are within Venezuela. Shouldn't we be asking them how they feel about it, guys? Shouldn't we be saying to them, how do you feel about this? This is your homeland. If we were going in and being a tyrannical government, trying to overtake another country, do you think this is how the people would be responding? I want to play this, Allie, and then I want to get your response to it because you shared this to me. Take a look. And again, in our unplugged session, it's just me as tech, so bear with me. Take a look.
Cuéntanos, porque Felicidad, tantos años esperar esto, Señor. Gracias, Señor. Ay, Dios mío, esto es una alegría inmensa. Gracias, Señor. Gracias al presidente de Estados Unidos. Yo solo estoy esperando hace años. Cómo he sufrido, cómo no han hecho daño, cómo han matado a mis hermanos. Ay, esto ha sido horrible, mira.
¿Cuántos años tiene usted aquí en los Estados Unidos? ¿Hace cuánto se fue de Venezuela?
Ay, tenemos aquí 8 años, 8 años, porque
8 years.
secuestraron al hermano mayor y fue fuerte, hermano. Secuestraron a mis hermanos, eso fue fuerte. Y doy gracias a Dios por todo esto, porque ha sido fuerte.
Muchas gracias. ¿Su nombre?
Yajaira.
Yajaira. ¿De qué parte de Venezuela es?
De Maracaibo.
De Maracaibo. ¿Y qué le dice a las personas que están viendo en este momento toda esta emoción de los venezolanos, a los venezolanos que han sido el centro de atención de las noticias, tanto por lo que ocurre en Venezuela como por el éxodo de los venezolanos, los migrantes venezolanos?
Fuerza, que sí se puede, que tuvieran paz y fe, como yo tengo 27 años esperando esto, que sí se puede, que tengan esperanza de todo, que vamos a ser un país libre, próspero y que todos vamos a salir a disfrutar este momento.
Wow.
We are going to enjoy this moment.
Incredible. So I want everyone to understand, when dictators and tyrants take over, they capture all of the strong men who stand in their way.
Yes.
Why do they do that? Ask yourself why. Because strong men who stand up against tyrants are a threat to their regime. And it leaves women and children extremely vulnerable. Then they become property because they have no one else to defend them. And any of the women that think that they're bold enough or bad enough or want to dissent will become public.
Yep.
They will be publicly reprimanded in horrific ways to keep people from doing what they're doing, stepping forward and saying, no, we're not doing this anymore. So when you see women hysterical, crying, weeping, shouting for joy, they feel as if President Trump and their administration here in the United States have liberated them from a gross tyrant who's taken over and completely dismantled their way of living, disrupted their lives, killed their family members and their friends. This is the sentiment of the Venezuelan people.
So this is, a lot of these people are adding subtitles through AI. So I'm always cautious at what we show. But I want to actually share this one first, because people are right away going to say, oh, yes, maybe they're happy to be liberated. But remember, they tell all of you Latinas not to vote Republican, not to vote conservative, to orange man is bad. Actually, the Latin community, with a lot of their conservative values, family first values, they more often than not really sympathize with the more conservative platform. But this is how you know how they feel about President Trump and what he did over the weekend.
Okay.
It looks like Trump.
He does. I know. But guys, if you want to see those people that come to this country and are more American than some of us that are born and raised here, take somebody who has lived and survived under socialist communist rule, comes here, understands our history, understands what they escaped, and watch how they live their lives. This is why these immigrants that come here legally and that really survived that, they come here and they hit the ground running. They thrive because they're so hungry for a land of opportunity. But let's ask ourselves, why can't that land of opportunity also be in their homeland? You're seeing, Allie, we talked about this in our first hour with Patriot TV. Look at what's taking place in Iran with these women taking off their burqas and burning it. Freedom is contagious. It is contagious. This kind of liberty, and listen, what they're experiencing overseas and what they're experiencing in other countries that are largely socialist, communist, dictated regimes, what they're experiencing, what they're witnessing is you and I, America, largely being liberated by somebody who was not a real polished candidate. He doesn't look and sound like everybody else. He's just kind of somebody that wants to get in there and do the job on Donald Trump. But they're watching what we just did in our country after we survived COVID, after we know that the 2020 election was fraudulent. We haven't sat out. We haven't forgotten. We had, like we said this in our first hour, we largely had one of the largest mind viruses penetrate into our country here. And guess what, guys? You Americans, you America First patriots, you guys survived it. You're still standing. And now we're seeing how that's catching fire really across the globe, Allie.
Well, because freedom and sovereignty and liberty, everybody wants. Some places, they have been under the heavy hand of tyrants for so long that a lot of them have forgotten how to fight for it because of fear. And fear is destabilizing. It's debilitating. And that's how tyrants rule. They rule through fear. And there's a difference between ruling through fear and ruling through peace, through strength, which is exactly what President Trump is doing. He's showing you, look, I'm going to give you opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. But after like my third time of giving you this opportunity to do what needs to be done peacefully, I'm coming for you. Because now you think I'm playing. So he's acting like an actual father would who has stewardship over something so precious, which is the sovereignty of individuals and the sovereignty of the land. And when you disobey or you misbehave in a way that costs people their lives, that costs people their independence, we're coming for you.
And you have to understand, you guys, again, Monroe Doctrine. We saw that Venezuela had just the day before they went in and got Maduro and captured him. He was meeting with Chinese delegates. I'm not talking like, taking pictures, showing them the tourist attractions. Okay.
No, it's policy.
You have to policy. The Monroe Doctrine forbids that kind of reach from those governments and those people across the pond that didn't want us to give us our independence in the first place, largely don't like that we still have it because freedom is contagious. So that the Monroe Doctrine gave us the right. I ask again why 40 some presidents haven't done it before. The indictment in a New York court gives us the legal authority, and the people of that land are now feeling and celebrating because of it. I want to share this other video, this reaction video. It's a couple minutes long, but because we're doing the unplugged version right now, guys, going over our allotted time, bringing it straight directly to you guys, we can kind of show all of it. But take a look at this woman. Her name's Victoria. She fled Venezuela 6 years ago. She's in this country, and she's listening to the largely white, liberal women bark and complain about literally no King's Day. Saturday was a no King's Day. Like we literally took a dictator and brought him
right.
But take a listen to her. I don't have to defend it. Listen to her.
From Venezuela?
Yes, I'm come from Venezuela.
And you don't agree with any of these people here, right?
No, I'm not agree. I'm not agree with Trump because Trump helped to my country obtain the libertad.
Can I ask you, there's a bunch of Americans here who have never
lived in a communist and socialist country with a socialist government.
So Americans are protesting here against the arrest of Maduro. They've never been to Venezuela before in their life, and you have, but they stand against the Venezuelan people. How do you feel about that?
I feel happy. We're so fucking happy.
Or in Margarita Island, or in the Llanos. How do the people in the Llanos feel about that?
Are you living?
Asking you the
No,
question.
I'm asking you.
Have you been to Venezuela? Have you been to Venezuela?
For the last 21 years in Venezuela with a communist and socialist government.
So,
your guys don't have idea.
Let me give you some advice. Let me give you some advice.
You don't have idea.
Let me give you some advice real quickly. All these people in shirts are going to surround you here in a second. They're going to try and drive you out over there where you perceive to be you have your freedom of speech amendment. You're more than welcome to be anywhere you want to, express anything that you want to, and continue to do that. Don't listen to any of these people in these orange shirts. They're all paid organizers and protesters by communist activists.
They're volunteers, actually.
So,
Let me
I think everybody's a volunteer here. Do you have anybody who's?
yes. Do you know Democrat Socialists of America?
Yeah. I've
Okay.
heard about
They
that.
have a collective bargaining agreement with the Communication Workers of America. No, don't go over there.
If you can experiment, if you want to experiment, go to Cuba. Go to Cuba. Live in Cuba.
Where's Cuba? Isn't Cuba going to be isn't it a dictatorship still?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is Cuba building military base? Is China building military bases in Cuba?
Excuse me?
Is China building military bases in Cuba?
Excuse me. I'm trying to listen to what they have to say.
Right. They have nothing to say. They have absolutely nothing to say because they're all ignorant. Every last one of them are ignorant. How the hell are you going to tell someone who is from Venezuela, who fled Venezuela to get to America to live in freedom because their entire country has been overrun by a socialist communist who has been killing people by the droves in their own country? And now that he has been captured, you know, the Homeland Security is like, you are allowed to stay here in America if you file for asylum. They're like, no, we want to go back home. We don't want to stay here. We want to go back to our home country because thank you.
Yeah.
Like, sit down, liberals. Siéntate ahí. Go somewhere and sit down.
I like to say that to my children all the time. You know, Allie, we believe
It's
in
so
the First Amendment,
frustrating.
the freedom of speech, and you have the total freedom to make yourself look like an arse and be out there protesting in support of Nicolas Maduro. Like, you 100% can do that, and you know, show your true colors. I don't know how. I've heard people from a school boardroom bark and bark and bark about knowing history. We have spent the first hour of this show and the first 10 minutes talking about the Monroe Doctrine and how Trump was okay to do what he did. We've talked about judiciously. You want to say, you know, we want justice for all. Okay, Maduro's been indicted. But what people have to understand, and this is where we're kind of pivoting to in this next hour, as much as us America First patriots want to say, you know, we want things on our soil taken care of first, I want everybody to think of who's the number one perpetrator against America First. I'm not talking about a person. There's two words that we use a lot in America First that we say is the true enemy: the deep state, right? The deep state, the unelected bureaucracies, the NGOs, the money, the players behind the scenes, behind the veil. There is an infrastructure in place in this country with tangled webs throughout the entire globe that fund, because if it wasn't money in it, people wouldn't do it, that fund a deep state because they're hungry for money, they're hungry for power, and they're hungry for control. And they will serve whatever master allows them to do that. If we do not dismantle the framework that's behind the scenes that funds the deep state, we will never, through Trump's administration, a Vance, a Marco, a DeSantis, whatever, you will never take care of the deep state because it's got a funding arm. So I want to caution everybody, since we're going in here, think about this. Think about what we've seen unravel. Allie and I have reported on it with USAID and where that money was going. Think about the Act Blue investigation, which is the donation arm for the Democrat Party. Think about something as central as Minnesota and the fraud there. Not so central because we're seeing it in Ohio, California, and other places, right? Think about the NGO tangle-webbed and all those funds and where the money's going. Think about all of this, and now think about the foreign money that has poured into our universities and colleges to capture our young people's minds. It's all tied together. It's all meant to bring down the United States of America from inside. And they're not going to do it under Barack Obama. He's going to be the face of something. And they're not going to do it under Hillary Clinton. She's the face of something. They're all expendable. It is a deep state network. Venezuela plays a crucial role. And we're going to kind of get into that a little bit in this next 40 minutes, I think. Allie, can I show this? I don't know if I shared this with you. John Solomon, who we both respect immensely, obtained a FOIA request, which, you know, it's funny. You know when we wouldn't need a Freedom of Information Act? if we had the Smith Month Modernization Act, because everybody would be giving out this free information. But anyway, I'm sorry. I've had a little bit of something in my coffee today. He has come through the Freedom of Information Act and found out that the CIA, grab your coffee, guys, the CIA conspired and succeeded in the overthrow of the United States government on November 3rd of 2020. I'm going to read this to you, and then I'll let you hear the video. In a stunning exchange, CIA Director Mike Morrell turns to fellow director John Brennan, where have we heard that name before, and asks if we would join in toppling the United States government during the November 3rd, 2020 election. Brennan not only agrees, but also expresses his gratitude. He says, this is the CIA Director, Mike Morrell, can I add your name, Brennan, to this list? We'll be adding Leon Panetta. He looks like Alf. Do you know this Alf? You know the guy Alf? Sue Gordon, Jay Johnson, Lisa,
my Lord.
Mike Rogers. He's working with other people. They're naming it all here, trying to give the incapacitated vegetable. Wonder who they're talking about there. Joe Biden. They knew that he was not fit for office, particularly during the debate on Thursday, a talking point to push back on Trump on this issue. CIA Director John Brennan says, okay, add my name to the list, just like you do with the pen that ran the country, not Joe Biden. Good initiative. Good initiative. Thanks for asking me to sign on. You don't believe me? Look at all of these people that signed on. These are the 51 intel officials who overthrew the United States of America. Jim Clapper, Leon Panetta. Look at all these people. Oh my dear God. Take a look. Take a look.
Guys, this is absolutely insane. So conservatives have been warning about this collusion between big tech, government agencies, and radical groups for a long time. We've been blowing the whistle about this forever. And this evidence right here, if that's what you want to call it, paints a very disturbing picture of election interference and ideological warfare. And that's exactly what we're seeing. And that's what has been uncovered. What we need is total election transparency, which is why we need to pass the SAVE Act. We have a call to action on the Hollow Alliance website. You can go to thehollowalliance.com to find that. You can go to our X accounts. It's all over the place. And when you have CISA has its ties to election systems and the FBI's pattern of political bias, it's time to fully dismantle the shadow network behind voting manipulation. Otherwise, we will never have clean and fair elections. We need to make sure that we are applying our political pressure at the appropriate political pressure points, and that is Senate President John Thune, and we need to call him and let him know that we need to pass the SAVE Act. It needs to be brought up for a vote. It passed the House in April last year. Okay, we're going on 10 months now that it's been sitting in the House and waiting for the Senate to pick it up. Senator John Thune, what are you doing? Pass the SAVE Act.
And this is why, we're getting to where it ties into Venezuela, because I'm gonna actually say this. As much as John Thune is being, he's not doing his job. That's putting it politely. It does no good if we have machines that can be hacked and overrun to be able to change your votes. You don't think it's happening? You don't think it's happening? I'm going to first let you hear how they rigged it in 2020. Okay, but then I'm going to let you see what they did on election night as well. Take a listen. Again, John Solomon's explaining the Freedom of Information Act that got him this information. Take a listen.
A short while ago, Just the News obtained this email. This is a very important email. It comes from the former CIA Director, Mike Morrell. Yes, the guy that organized that letter from the 51 intelligence professionals who tried to fake you into thinking that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation when it wasn't. It is between him and John Brennan, one of the signatories. You know who John Brennan is? He was Obama's CIA director, right? He's the guy that told Obama, hey, Hillary Clinton is doing a dirty trick on Donald Trump called Russia collusion. Well, this is just before the presidential debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Hunter Biden's laptop is flinging out there. This is what Mike Morrell, former CIA director, tells his successor, John Brennan, hey, sign this letter because I'm, quote, trying to give the campaign, particularly during the debate on Thursday, a talking point to push back on Trump on this issue. A man with a security clearance, a man with the title of CIA director, knew that he wasn't creating an intelligence product, a mere civic duty with 51 people. He was trying to create a political moment. Damning evidence. We'll try to find out if Congress has this letter, but this is a very important piece It is the ultimate proof that what went out on that letter was a political dirty trick coordinated with the Biden campaign. Short while.
And again, this is something that the DNI director, Tulsi Gabbard, has had. She has been talking about this for a while. We've been sharing it here, but this is, we're getting, and we knew this was going to happen in the new year. We're getting more and more of the meat and potatoes. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute. We were talking about Venezuela. And so, you know, why does it matter? Well, those people that were crying and elated now with joy because they feel like they have their country back. Maduro was not the duly elected president of, if you want to call her dictator, you know, obviously elected president in Venezuela. It was a woman by the name of Machado. She, I don't know if you remember, guys, she actually, she won a Nobel Peace Prize, and I'm not sure if it was the Nobel Peace Prize.
It was.
Okay.
They gave it to her instead of Trump, remember?
Yeah, she came out and she said, I want to dedicate this to Trump because he's the one over here in instituting peace and negotiating these deals. And everybody came down on her from the left. They were like, oh my God, you're just licking his boot, whatever. Do you know, anybody who understands power and people that operate with a lot of it, what I believe Machado did is she actually got on the radar of President Trump to say, I see what you're doing. We may differ in some things, but I see what you're doing. And my country needs it more than anyone, sir.
Yeah.
And it perked his ears. You get more bees with honey.
Yeah.
Believe it or
I'm
not.
sure
You know?
I know that they've been in conversation well before the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, he had so many good things to say about her. And knowing this is what people don't understand. President Trump is well aware of his surroundings. He is well aware of what is going on geopolitically. Yeah. If not, he would be a lame duck president and be just like everyone else.
Melania somewhere. He does not have to do this.
Right. He is very well aware of what is going on. And so I don't think that it took her to win the Nobel Peace Prize to gain his affection. I don't think that that's what happened. I do think that that was rightfully what she felt on her heart to do because she has seen his advances, the way that he has the strength to stand in peace and to stand on principle and to stand in fact and not be wavered by these big dictatorship countries. And so it gave her, I'm sure, more of a boost of look, something needs to happen here. You know what I mean?
And Allie, I agree that they probably had a relationship before. They probably, I hopefully will have a relationship going forward as we look at what Venezuela is going to look like.
Especially now that Maduro might be blowing the whistle.
Although I'm hearing there's going to be, did we get? I feel I froze.
Hearing
you say Maduro 3 times like Beetlejuice. They freeze. I'm sure that I've heard that we may see some type of a contested election now in Venezuela because the old guard is not going, just because you cut off the head of the snake by bringing out Maduro doesn't mean that all his peons are going to sit there nicely. But I know what people are thinking. Okay, we talked about, the corruption in 2020. We've talked about our own government playing a hand in it through FOIA requests. Now we're going to take a look. Let me see. As my sharing. Sorry, tech is me today. Okay, so there is now an order. The President of the United States signed an order revoking Chris Krebs' security clearance, and President Trump directed Attorney General Bondi to investigate Chris for his role in the overthrow of the U.S. government on November 3rd. Now, he was the head of CISA. You heard Allie talking about that. Do we have a CISA director right now? Or are we still waiting on Scott? God bless
I don't think we have a CISA director yet. I still think he's still waiting to be confirmed.
Okay, well, the former CISA director weaponized his position and conspired with the FBI, big tech, and there's proof of it now.
I jumped ahead. Because I already read it and I already knew and I jumped ahead. But y'all understand what I was saying now? You get it? You connect the dots?
Here are the dots to connect. Look at this right here, guys. All of you that are wondering about Smartmatic and Dominion and the voting machines and why are we in Venezuela and why do we care? A secret meeting organized on Election Day, November 3rd, 2020 by the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, involving Dominion officials. Oh, you know, those machines that calculate your votes, the FBI, and oh my God, Antifa, to discuss
I wonder.
the overthrow of the United States government with private leftist companies and Democratic groups. Not Democratic as in, you know, the way we like to see our government run, Democratic as in the party. They included election groups, the Lafayette Group, Antifa member Eric Coomer with Dominion. Wait a minute. We were told there's nothing to see here with the machines. And the machines, we're going to get to it in a minute. Guess where the machines were programmed largely and built? Let's take a quick listen to President Trump as he talks about this.
Christopher Krebs, the former head of CISA. This is a man who weaponized his position against free speech in the election context, in the context of COVID-19. A presidential memorandum to the one you just signed, appearances he might have, and further instructs your Department of Justice, other aspects of your government, to investigate some of the malign acts that he participated in while he was still head of CISA.
This is another one. I don't know that I met him. I'm sure I met him, but I didn't know him. And he came out right after the election, which was a rigged election, badly rigged election. We did phenomenally in that election. Look what happened to our country because of it. Open borders, millions of people coming into our country. Russia and Ukraine, that would have never happened. October 7th would have never happened. Afghanistan, the way that they withdrew with 13 dead, but so many killed, actually. I mean, so many killed outside of the 13 soldiers, hundreds of people killed.
So he goes on to, and I know we have talked about a lot of these stories before, what it cost us, you guys, to not have President Trump in 2020. I'm going to say it. My dad died because of a virus that was cooked up by Anthony Fauci in Wuhan, China, with the expense of taxpayer dollars that leaked. You were told it was a wet market. Oh, isn't that cute? And largely killed how many people? I mean, listen, we got after the Nazis for doing it, for extinguishing people. I think under the rule of Fauci and NIH and what we've done with COVID, I think most of our baby boomer generation bought that. Like they were the ones that are now buried and resting in heaven. That is an act of war, people. Like nobody wants to talk about it, but that's part of why it matters what took place in 2020. This wasn't just, oh, did we get Bush Jr. or Bush Sr.? Did we get a Clinton or did we get, that's not what
more than that.
It's so much bigger because there was a need. There was a need for the deep state to have that authority in an incapacitated Biden to be able to have run ramshot in this country. And again, you're seeing how our government cooperated. Okay. You're seeing that Dominion and Smartmatic and Antifa, Democrat Tifa, you're seeing how they all played a role. What does this have to do with Venezuela? Guys, this gets really...
I wonder if the Florida GOP is paying attention.
Allie, I posted the other day, I said, I wonder what could possibly go wrong when you have a machine that's able to be infiltrated from Venezuela, controlling U.S. elections and third-party vendors who control your state elections. Sounds safe to me.
Yeah. Well, and then they're like, oh, but Florida won bigly with Republicans. Sure. Okay. And it still doesn't erase that there's been fraud.
Have you ever won? Like, listen, anybody out there who plays who plays sports, anybody out there who's very competitive, okay? Do you want to win the game on a technicality from a referee? Do you
Never.
Not
ever.
Warning, with them going in and relooking at that, or do you want it to be a blowout?
Yep.
You know, even when you win, you want to make sure you know that you won. So everybody,
right,
for transparency.
Right. I'm also being told that Florida GOP is mad at Trump. Go figure.
Florida GOP is mad at Florida
Go
GOP.
figure. Why are y'all mad at the man? Why y'all mad at the man? I just why? Why could you possibly be upset of what is coming out? I don't understand. I mean, I understand.
Okay, so let's, Allie, this is where it gets, listen,
go ahead, go.
I was up.
So hold it together.
I know, but
I know you got to let everybody understand it.
This is not stuff that like is readily talked about, and I feel like we're trying to disseminate it in a way that's easy to understand, but you almost cannot wrap your head around this type of idiocracy and evil. I can't imagine why somebody would operate like this, but thank God for General Michael Flynn and his patience with telling people over and over and over again until we hit our head against the wall and actually hear it. There's a deeper examination that needs to happen. Now, General Flynn reshared this. He stood to lose a lot with that phony Russiagate BS that they fabricated against him. What he's resharing here, I'm just going to read it for you guys. A Venezuelan military intelligence whistleblower. Wait a minute. A whistleblower from Venezuela was in the military. Hold on.
Say what?
No, that was from Venezuela. Are we okay?
Yeah, no, I said say what?
I feel like every time I say Venezuela, somebody hits the. Who else do we know from Venezuela that could potentially give us a lot of information? Why did we take Maduro alive?
Oh.
Maybe he might sing like a canary.
I mean, and he's posing in photos with thumbs up.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Like
a Venezuelan military intelligence whistleblower confirmed the CIA outsources election rigging technology like Smartmatic from where? Venezuela. This is not about narco trafficking. It's not. It's the Monroe Doctrine. Yes. It's about don't ship your crap, your synthetic poison over here. It's about
all of it.
It's about all of it. It's not about oil. It's not about Israel. And I don't care how you feel about Israel, and I don't care how you feel about oil. But if you use those two terms to now propagate this going forward, you're actually missing the point.
Right. Use the meat between your ears.
Yes.
This thing.
What he says. I'm going to read his script. If you don't mind, I'll read it. Okay. My name is Hugo Barrios. For many years, I was a high-ranking member of the Venezuelan regime. I was a 3-star general trusted by Hugo Chavez and Nicolas Maduro and served as director of military intelligence and a deputy in the National Assembly. Today, I sit in an American prison because I voluntarily pled guilty to the crimes charged against me, narco-terrorism conspiracy. Smartmatic was born as an electoral tool of the Venezuelan regime. I know this because I placed the head of IT, right, of the National Electoral Council, oh my gosh, in his position. And he reported directly to me. The Smartmatic system can be altered. This is a fact. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a fact. This technology was later exported abroad, including to the United States. Regime operatives maintain relationships with election officials and voting machine companies inside your country. Guess who was right? Sidney Powell. Guess who was right? General Flynn.
Yep.
Guess who was right? Former Mayor Giuliani. Guess who was right? My pillow guy. I'm sorry.
President Trump.
No, but I'm saying my pillow guy.
I know.
Oh, sorry. What is his name?
Lindell. Mike Lindell.
Lindell, do not hold that against me. I'm having an old lady moment. Here's the documents. This is not just about outsourced and weaponized narco trafficking. It's about rigging elections. Patrick Byrne, we're still trying to get him on the show. Patrick Byrne, we need you on the show. He knows this inside and out. But take a look at it. Take a look at it. Whistleblower protection, you guys. So when you're mad and you're saying, I am America first, I didn't ask for things in Venezuela. Think bigger. Think bigger.
Right. 50,000 foot view, y'all.
America first wants to get rid of the deep state.
Yes.
Unelected.
How do we do that?
Deep state. And don't think it's just Democrats. I think it runs on both sides of the aisle. Again, America first, right? If you don't dismantle the infrastructure, if you don't take away the financing arm, they did it with USAID, they freaked out. They're doing it with taking care of the fraud in Minnesota and other states, they're freaking out. You take away the teat of which they suck, it all comes crumbling down. And Allie, if I could just say one last thing, I think the reason why we're seeing this first, Maduro possibly coming over here and spilling the beans, the reason why this is happening first, in my opinion, just a mom, in my opinion, before we see Obama or arrest of Nancy Pelosi, is because these people have an exorbitant amount of funds to fund their own trials.
Yeah, defense.
And if you think it's all Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama, and there's not like 6 people sitting on the bench waiting to take over, there are. It's bigger than any one person. So while we want to see accountability, we want to see it end.
Yes.
And I want to almost see that taken care of first. Let's dismantle the financing arm to this evil so that we can be accountable. Go ahead.
And how do you get to the kingpin? How do you get to the source of the problem?
I love that.
You find the ones that have been sifted to the bottom. You find those low-hanging fruit and you capture them and you kind of persuade them a little to give you information for the next level in the organization. Yeah. And when they blow the whistle on the next level in the organization, you do the same thing. It is very incremental. That is how investigations work. A lot of you guys haven't seen The Wire, and it shows. No, but honestly,
you haven't seen the strings.
Right. Proof of election meddling demands action, you guys, and we know this. We know this. Whistleblowers are heroes. They deserve protection, and they are exposing things that are imperative to election integrity moving forward. And the GOP must lead in these investigations. Conservatives must champion full disclosure. We have to have it.
You know who talks unapologetically on an open mic, whether it's on a show or at a podium? Somebody who has nothing to hide.
Nothing to hide.
And
nothing to lose. Nothing to hide and nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. Allie, there are more and more documents that are coming out. I want to make sure, again, for those of you that are watching us, this is more of an open mic unplugged. We had our first hour with Patriot TV. We tried to get through as much as we could, but either we're long-winded or there's just a lot of stuff, or both. I don't know. So we popped on our own network here at Open Mic Ladies on all platforms to be able to continue the conversation unplugged. So if you like this, make sure you comment and let us know where you're watching from. Like, share, and subscribe, guys, because this is not something that's really being talked about on other platforms. I want you to take a look at this. I found this, Allie, from the Skiff, which I know we share a lot of stuff there, doubling down on what we just really talked about. Former CIA analyst and station chief exposed 2020 election manipulation through Smartmatic and Dominion. By the way, guys, did you know Allie and I, there was one word we were told we could not say on our open mic platform until recently, and that was Dominion.
Yep, Dominion.
Do you want to know why? Because they will sue you into oblivion. You know what? They've been taken. It's like they're a used car. They've been sold for parts. But so through Smartmatic and Dominion voting machines. Did you hear that siren?
I did. That was loud.
Here they come. Geez. And tie the Venezuelan Cartel del Sol, the CIA, China, and Serbia to the global election fraud cartel. Take a look at this. Dominion voting systems allegedly deleted 2.7 million Trump votes nationwide. They switched 221,000 in Pennsylvania alone and flipped 435,000 across key states. Now, this isn't just happening in the United States. Take a look at this over some of the over 100 countries. Why would somebody bother wanting to play chess and play God with elections across the globe? Because they want power, because with power comes great riches, because they're idiots. They use U.S. tax dollars through USAID and other sources to funnel it through shady non-government organizations to fund the fraud and color revolutions and psychological operations like COVID, fear porn, the media, and the people on the ground. Elections. You know what they told you about elections in 2020? That this virus was so smart, you had to stand 6 feet apart. Guess what? I can't see when I'm monitoring the election results from 6 feet. I can't see everything. They wouldn't want you to come in and double check the votes. They played like there was a water main break. It was the first time there was a water main break in somewhere in Georgia that we didn't have a coverage of it. I never saw the actual water main break.
I know. And then they covered up windows. And they wouldn't let people in to watch what was going on. And President Trump has been posting this ever since the capture of Maduro, even before. He's been posting about the election fraud that took place. If you go to his account, you can and he's doing it through Truth. He's not just doing it on X. People are resharing it on X. And so I think President Trump is utilizing Truth, his platform, as we all use IG. So for a lot of people, IG is more personal, and X is more political forward facing, policy forward facing. But because President Trump is who he is, the most iconic president of the history of America, especially in our lifetime, he everything he does is political forward facing. So on IG, TikTok, X, all the platforms, he's very forward facing, policy centric, right? But when he goes to Truth and he posts videos of election interference, of people hiding and switching ballots and ballot harvesting and doing illegal things, that's it. That is his personal understanding of what is going on.
Absolutely. And it's a safe space. It's a safe space. We have Trent Talks on YouTube on YT. He commented, thank you, Trent. No skeletons means nothing to hide.
Yep.
And that is so true. Take a look at what's on your screen here. Here's what I would like to see in a perfect Michelle utopia. I would like to see, because we lead in Florida, I would like to see the Florida GOP. I mean, I think I'm going to extend an olive branch to somebody that I really can't see eye to eye on many things. And I'm going to give you a chance. Not that I feel like you're a respecter of my opinion at all, but I'm going to give you a chance. Our Florida GOP. I think we should come out loud and strong and proud. I'm going to go better than that. I'm going to say it's even local government. Sarasota County GOP. I want to hear loud and proud and strong from you that you denounce this type of practice, whether you think it's happening or not. Just come out and say, we would never. And if we find out, we're going to fight it to every tooth and nail. And you know what? We're going to double check our election systems. Florida, Sarasota, United States of America. We're going to make sure, do ESS election systems and software work anywhere near where you have elections? Smartmatic, Dominion. Let's just take a look. Let's everybody kick the tires, lift the hood, and let's see what's going on. And if you don't, because I've seen you come out, GOP, and make some very public statements about people's private lives. I think this is elections. I think we should see Evan Power, Bill Hemlick, all the leaders. This is the one time we can get together and say, you know what, we're going to hold hands and we're going to really kumbaya this thing across the finish line. Make a public statement. I want to see it. Allie, I want to play just a little bit of this video. Take a listen.
Got to ask you, do you believe votes were manipulated, changed electronically in favor of Joe Biden? And if so, how was it done?
Well, I certainly do believe it, sir, because I saw it on TV on the crawls underneath television coverage of the election. At least two cases. One had about 12,000 votes that magically went from Trump to Biden. And another one about 20,000 votes. And both times, Trump's numbers decreased by exactly the number that Biden's increased. And so before any of this came about, I just had a strong inkling that something was afoot here. And the more they suggest that the intelligence service, our intelligence service, were involved in it, I tend to think that there probably was a great deal of vote marking by people when they found out how many votes they needed to surpass Trump.
So you can feel how you want about this, because I know everybody's going to feel some kind of way, but I got to ask a question. When they're tallying votes, we're smart enough to do this on American Idol. When you're tallying votes, do they ever, does the number ever drop? Like, oops, let me take that back. Let me erase that.
Not ever.
No.
Not ever. Not ever. Not ever. Y'all, when your intelligence agency is complicit, do you think it could be revamped, or do you think it needs to be turned into a freaking museum?
Now, I'm going to tell you that gentleman talking there was former CIA chief of station Gary Bernstein. He states that Venezuelan cartels controlled Smartmatic and Dominion voting machines, rigged the elections under Hugo Chavez's order with Chinese hardware.
Go figure.
Serbian servers manipulating U.S. elections, including 2020. Now, what I couldn't find, because I looked, but I had to sleep at some point, I can't determine what was done because it's not like it's above my pay grade. What was done in 2016, and let's be honest, like, how long has this been going? You ever hear this? How long has this been going on? You want to know? Like, I'm now a scorned woman. I want to know how long. How long?
How long has this been going on? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's been going on for quite a while.
I'm back.
However long it's been going on, it's been too long. It doesn't matter.
One time too many. Thank you, sis.
The first time it happened is one time too many. That's it, period. I don't even care how long it's been going on. You showed your hand the first time.
Ooh.
And now we're done.
Everybody needs to get a friend like Allie, just saying.
Now we're done.
Now, think about this, okay? Bad enough that Maduro was allowing influence from China, Russia, and Iran, violating the Monroe Doctrine. Bad enough that he was already indicted in New York. We had plenty of call to want to go in and grab him, and we did it respectfully. Venezuelans, largely, we've showed you, they are celebrating in the streets. But this is different. All my America First patriots, listen, this is different. And as much as I want to see perp walks as well, my mom brain, and I could be wrong, this is just my opinion, my mom brain thinks that the reason why we have an alive Maduro now in our custody, along with whistleblowers who are from his former regime, now speaking about the role that people in the US and across the globe have played in doctoring election results, I think it's important we take down the deep state platform that supports them financially. USAID. Is it starting to make sense? These were the little threads at the top. USAID. What?
And everyone's like, wait, why? What does that have to do with this? And what does it have to do with that? What does it have to do? Guys, big picture.
The Ukraine war. They can't tell us where the money went.
Picture.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, maybe we check crony politicians.
No, for sure.
USAID. 100%. Crony politicians.
With
Somalian daycare money. Corrupt politicians. Are you seeing?
There's a thread here and there's a connection. And when you pull at one thread, it all begins to unravel. And that's what we're seeing happen right now. And I think as the days progress into 2026, we are going to see much more disclosure about voter fraud and election integrity moving forward. And I think we're going to start seeing a whole lot more action within this new DOJ within the coming weeks.
Well, and I'll tell you, Allie, one of the things that I want people to understand, we still get out and vote in 2026. We flood it. We flood it. We get people that have never voted before. Leave the dead people, they can vote Democrat. You know what I mean? Like, that's how they're gonna try to steal the same way. But we still flood the 2026 midterms. We still show up. We still work hard for candidates.
Absolutely.
I am a candidate. If you think I'm not sitting here going, you know what, Lord, it's in your hands, and I'm just going to keep speaking truth, and I'm still going to go stand and occupy in that area of school board because our kids matter. You have something to do. Don't let this make you so lethargic that you feel like you're just going to sit this one out. But I want
this should energize you.
Yeah. And anybody out there who's a coder, does coding, like you young people that are so freaking smart that have figured this out, like I need you to teach me a class. I want you to listen to this next piece, because again, this does not get talked about at all. You can think this person is wrong. You can think that what I'm sharing is not legitimate. You have all those rights. But if you could just cleanse the palate for a second and think about what we know about politicians and those that want to stay in power and those that want money and power and are greedy, just think about through that lens. Do you think there's ever a possibility? This is an IT expert. He gained access to forensic images of the Dominion rigging management system in Mesa County, Colorado. What name is synonymous with Colorado? Tina Peters.
Mm-hmm.
This demonstrates how Dominion, the rigging system, overthrew the governments, including the United States. Think of the Kerry Lake election.
Yep.
Most recently in Brazil. Trump votes, he's saying, were switched to Joe Biden in seconds and without a trace. And Tina Peters really was trying to preserve this stuff. And this is why they went after her in Colorado. Listen to him.
Being awarded to Biden and Jorgensen's totals being awarded to Trump.
after gaining access to a forensic image of the Dominion election management system in Mesa County, Colorado. IT experts demonstrate how easy it is to switch tens of thousands of votes from Trump to Biden in seconds by simply changing the index number next to each candidate's name.
This is a backdoor utility called SQL Server Management Studio that is actually installed on the image of the voting system.
So is it certified?
It is not on the list of certified software. What I'm going to do first, I'm just going to pull up the presidential results in Mesa County for that.
Wow.
And here they are. You can see Biden has 31,000, Trump has 56,000. Okay. So I'm going to come up here now and I'm going to make a quick change. Change that.
You change that to a 2.
Yep. I'm changing Trump to a 1.
Okay.
And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to rerun the report. And there you go. Biden, 56,000, Trump, 31,000. So I just results of the election using a tool. It's actually built in to the voting system. And what I did is not even logged. There's no trace of what I just did now. For some reason, the logging of activities by a user that has the password are not retained.
In Pennsylvania on live TV, Trump had 1,690,589 votes, while Biden had 1,252,537 votes. The time was approximately 11:08 Eastern Standard Time. The next interim report shows Trump's votes decreasing to 1,670,631, and Biden's votes increasing to 1,272,495. The time is approximately 11:09 p.m.
Oh my God.
Live on CNN, exactly 19,958 votes were switched from Trump to Biden. This means Trump lost 39,916 votes.
That doesn't even make sense. Like, this is infuriating. This is infuriating. If you can sit and watch The Age of Disclosure and believe that we have UAPs running around in our universe, which we do, then how is it that you are so disassociated with your logic that you don't believe that this is actually occurring? He literally showed you in real time how it happened. It has been disclosed in a court of Georgia, done real time, and nobody has picked it up. Not a legacy media news outlet has picked it up and shown real time the hacking of a machine, of an election machine. Guys, election integrity is not a conspiracy. It is fact. It has been shown. It is common sense. And the left has scoffed at all of these claims that election fraud was existing. And there is mounting evidence that demands an honest and constitutional response to it.
And I'm just going to tell you, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Just the tip.
Because if you don't think that Maduro is not sitting in an air-conditioned cell somewhere singing like a canary,
oh, I bet.
Better have cameras on him is all I'm saying.
I mean, why else do you think he's like this in photos?
With a bottle of water. You think they got that in Venezuela under his leadership? Guys, again, you can like us. You can hate us. You can send us threats. You can do whatever. You can even try to botch my internet. I'm just telling you right now, Allie and I are very healthy. We are loving life, and we are continue to want to love life, if you know what I mean. So just want to say, we understand that when this stuff needs to be talked about, it's not popular. I'm a candidate for office. You don't think they're going to try to like paint me in a certain way? I don't care.
I have clients that are candidates, and they're being scoffed at every time they go somewhere, especially my congressional candidate, who's like, this is what's going on. And everyone's like, you're lying. Are we though?
Again, I don't, here's the thing. Talking largely should not be controversial. Me sharing an opinion and sharing my computer screen on this show should not be controversial. No. You can like it. You can not like it. You can believe it. You can want to ask more questions. You can do your own research. All wonderful things. I love you, and I hope you do. But again, it doesn't make me an election denier. It makes me a truth seeker. And if that frustrates you, what the hell are you trying to hide?
Right.
I mean,
and
we
how
should all be like,
are you?
As a matter of fact, hey, Democrats in the state of Florida, since since you had your panties in such a wad about Governor DeSantis and his tremendous win this last governor election, you should want to look into this too. We all should want to look into it. I mean, don't you want free and fair elections moving forward?
I mean, I don't know. What I don't know.
This is something that GOP and the Democrats should really, but you know what you're going to find? You're going to find that Trump and just a very few are out on this totem pole all alone, really wanting to get to the bottom of this. Can you see why if let's just suspend your reality for a second and pretend you don't like anything I've said so far. Suspend reality and think if you could buy elections, you could buy election outcomes with just a push of a button. If you could potentially do that, you don't care if you're Democrat or Republican.
No, you don't. Because it's
somebody like Trump that you're like, oh shit, I can't.
It's the establishment that wins. It's the deep state that wins. It's the shadow government that wins. If you wonder why your MAGA, true conservative, America first candidates are not winning, maybe this is why.
Again, I've had many people that have reached out and have said, wait, so where's the proof that Smartmatic has had a lot of ties to Venezuela? Again, we are taking firsthand account from whistleblowers now within U.S. custody who they worked on this. But if you don't believe me, because I understand, I'm just a mom. Like, what do I know? If you don't believe me, let me just show you one other thing here, because I think that you should have to prove. If you are questioning something, you can't just be running your mouth. Take a look. What website am I on? Smartmatic. Yeah. Venezuela, world's first national e-voting with paper trail election. Okay, they were using it in Venezuela. They were altering things in Venezuela. I'm not making that up. That's their website showing that they were using it. Again, it's largely been dismantled and sold for parts. That's why we're able to talk about it. Dominion as well, because before it was like, you cannot possibly talk about that at all. I just want to let you know, there is the tie. Do your own research. And you know what? Email us at contact@openmicladies.com and let us know what you come up with, because this is how it's done. You're the Nick Shirley now. You're the Nick Shirleys. Go do it. Go do it. We are still rolling, and it has been a long day, but you know what, Allie, can we keep going?
Sure.
General Michael Flynn. Okay, so I want you to just take a listen to him.
He is so good.
He is amazing. And well, you know what? I can't speak for him because he does it so well. Take a look.
So what we're seeing in Venezuela, and why, and I haven't paid attention to it for the last probably 7 or 8 hours, but it still appears like there's going to be a contest in Venezuela, and that contest could turn into a revolution, physical revolution. Military forces against military forces, people against people, and basically people that are fighting for freedom over the communist regime of Maduro. And if the outcome turns on the communists and it becomes this new president, this woman down there who seems to be very strong, very courageous, and good for her, the consequences of that have great consequences, have huge consequences for the United States of America. Because in Venezuela, one of the things that where our voting systems, okay? And why does this tie into the United States? Our voting systems and voting systems around the world, many of them actually began in Venezuela. They were created in Venezuela. And our CIA has a long time relationship with some of these organizations. So what I know is that if this woman wins and gets into the presidency, the ability for her to expose what has been happening inside of communist Venezuela in terms of corruption that has impacted the rest of the world is going to be mind-blowing. It'll be explosive. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen. And this is why it's interesting. I mean, the administration came out, the U.S. administration came out and said it gave a blurb about, hey, we got to stand for freedom and, we're joining together. No, these people, they don't want this woman to win. I'm telling you, they don't want this woman to win because.
And again, they're talking about Machado.
Yeah.
And she's already won once, and then they put her in prison. They like took her out basically, and just like they tried to do to Trump. Well, and I just want to say to our viewers real quick, Joe Pags, former friend on Patriot TV, his swatted. I think he was swatted twice.
Mm-hmm.
Showed up at his house twice just for doing what he continues to do. So God bless you, Joe. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, Joe's amazing. And what General Michael Flynn is alluding to right here is exactly what is occurring. So with the capture of Maduro, we are going to see disclosure in 2026 on election fraud. This is precisely why President Trump keeps posting photos and videos about election rigging with Dominion and Smartmatic. Why? Because it's connected to Venezuela, and we have proof that it's connected to Venezuela. The president here, the rightful president of Venezuela, has the evidence of that. And I'm sure with working with the American government, they are going to expose it. 26 is going to be an amazing year, y'all. Buckle up, because it's going to be uncomfortable learning the news about all of the truth coming out.
Pop your popcorn. So there she is. This is Maria Corina Machado, the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize. She says, we are ready to take over the government. It says here, the fearless Venezuelan opposition icon who boldly dedicated, you guys, she put her life on the line. Right. And then she dedicated that Nobel Peace Prize to President Trump for his decisive support in fighting for freedom. She's signaling the dawn of a new era post-Maduro.
Ooh. The dawn of a new era. What does that sound like? The dawn, D-O-N, the dawn of a new year. No, I'm kidding. I think that's funny.
I want to get something blonde with the hair. And then
right. So there's a bird. There's like a Venezuelan bird, and they're like, they put like Donald Trump's hair on it, and they're like the Venezuelan new, national bird. No, but all jokes aside, I think this is amazing. I think it sounds like
emotional.
The golden era. Right. It sounds like the golden era that President Trump is trying to maintain and cultivate here in America. And it's happening all around the world. It's not even just here. It's happening everywhere. I'm really excited to see it.
Yesterday, and I'm not going to call her by name because I didn't get her permission, but somebody that is in my family that I lost contact with. People get married and they get divorced, and sometimes you don't keep in touch with the same people. But from Venezuela, and we don't ever talk about politics, me and this girl. We're friends on social media. She hasn't unfriended me, so I'm always like, all right, she's got some thick skin. But we definitely don't talk about it.
It's always curious when they lurk and linger, isn't it?
Yes. but to see the posts that I'm seeing that are extremely pro-Trump right now.
Amazing.
And it's like, it's not even like, I could even understand if you're like, you know what, I don't even like the guy, but he just liberated the country that I fled from. And now I can watch my family try to rebuild what was stolen from us. Like, you don't even have to like Trump, but
I bet you do now. You do now, because if he wasn't there, your country would still be under tyrannical rule. So you're welcome.
You're welcome. Okay. So, there's something we skipped over, and I've got it. So all of you that have lefty, I'm sorry, that just made me emotional. I don't know what did that.
No, I mean, it is. It's an emotional thing.
Those of you that have lefty friends, and I keep them around because they're kind of fun. It's like when your team is the Chicago Bears and the other person's team is the Detroit Lions and they suck, but you're going into the postseason and they're not. So you kind of poke fun of them, and the person out there who knows who this is about will pick that up. But it's kind of like that. That you're winning, so you don't mind keeping people around that don't think like you, just so you can kind of say, I told you so. But yes, we do have a 12:30 meeting. Okay, sorry. We skipped over this, and I want to make sure that we do touch on this. All of you that have lefty friends and you think this is just a Trump derangement thing, right? Why did this guy go in and invade another country? Okay, hold on a second. Listen. you listening? Biden had a bounty on Nicolas Maduro of $25 million.
He did.
What is a bounty for? That's not even bringing him in alive. That's his head on a stick.
I wonder why, though. I wonder why there was a bounty on his head like that. Maybe so he wouldn't blow the whistle and sing like a canary in a cave?
They weren't concerned with bringing him in alive, you guys.
Perhaps that's why.
Let's hear from Hakeem Jeffries. Let's take a listen here. I bet he's got something good to say.
Well, you just heard my conversation with Secretary Rubio. I asked him about the administration's decision not to inform Congress ahead of this operation until President Maduro had been captured. Secretary Rubio saying this was not the kind of mission where they could have afforded to notify Congress. There were concerns about leaks. He made that point. President Trump made that point. Was the administration justified in this case in not briefing Congress?
Yeah.
Well, there's been no evidence that the administration has presented to justify the actions that were taken in terms of there being an imminent threat to the health, the safety, the well-being, the national security of the American people.
So then why did we put a bounty on him? I mean, think about it. Biden put a $25 million bounty on this man's head. Did he not need congressional approval to do that?
No, he didn't. He didn't. He didn't need it, and he didn't ask for it either. And Hakeem Jeffries was very quiet about it. Also, what else do you call emptying your prisons and flying them and sending them into America, into our open border? What do you call sending fentanyl and drugs that are killing everybody into the Americas? What do you think? What do you think that was? What do you think that was? You only need permission only need to involve Congress when it is a war. That is not what is occurring. That is not what occurred. So I'm going to need the Democrats on the left to actually open up the Federalist and anti-Federalist papers and do some freaking homework and understand the proper roles and responsibility of the sit in which you have the privilege to sit in.
Absolutely. And this is why it's so emotional. If you're feeling it, if you're feeling the emotion, this is Representative, let me make sure I get her name correct.
Salazar.
Maria Salazar. Take a listen to what this means to our Venezuelan Americans.
The message has been very clear. President Trump kept his word. President Trump had the internal fortitude, had the political pants to do what no other president, Republican and Democrat, for the last 25 years that you have been serving in Congress and I have been a member of the news media, no one had that resolution of liberating the hemisphere from thugs like this Maduro, who only harmed his people and our people through drugs, through terrorist attacks, through gang members, specifically Tren de Aragua.
Specifically Tren de Aragua, which, by the way, thanks to Maduro, he killed. I mean, his policies in cooperation with Biden and Harris's open border killed Laken Riley. Remember, she's America's daughter. That was someone's baby girl out for a jog on a college campus just trying to earn a degree, and they transported that Venezuelan monster into this country. He was already on the radar for doing things illegally. And Laken Riley is here no more. And maybe there's a little bit of justice here. You know, we gave him a lot more than the Venezuelan thug gave Laken Riley. Is all I'm saying.
Right, no, 100%. And the Democrats are largely disconnected from the realities of socialism and suffering of those under socialist rule.
Or they're here to try to institute that type of socialism here.
Absolutely.
You know exactly what they're doing, and they're a paid operative. And I know who you are because you're in our area as well. Allie, can we land on a funny? Because I know we've got another meeting coming.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for staying tuned to us. If you're wondering what's going on, Open Mic Ladies has gone unplugged for an additional hour and a half because there's so much we need for you guys to understand about what's happening in Venezuela. Why do we need for you to understand it? A, because you have to understand what's happening in your own government. But B, because you are the one who goes out and talks to people lovingly when this subject comes up, and you've got to be able to dispel the propaganda eye to eye when you're talking to people within your family or within your circle of influence. But Disney Pixar.
Oh my gosh. This
presents
had me dying.
FAFO.
The American president is a coward. Come get me. I'm waiting.
Well, how about that? Quicker than DoorDash.
I think the White House needs an award. That's amazing.
The White House was like, how can we get the American people through the amount of transparency they're about to see, and hopefully perp walks and all the things, because it's hard
Through
to realize.
20s.
Yeah.
Through the millennial and zillennial generations. And the zillennials are the ones that are caught in between, Gen X and millennial. I fall in that. So I have everybody's humor, and I love this. This is great. I need more of it. I need more of it. I need more of it.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into Open Mic. Do you have something you'd like for us to cover? Do you have a topic that maybe you've done a little bit of research on you'd like for us to look at and take up? Contact at openmicladies.com. You can go to openmicladies.com as well to read up a bit on Allie and I. Visit us on all social media platforms at Open Mic Ladies. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn that notification on. We're going to be back with our Patriot TV friends 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. And Allie, if there's more to talk about tomorrow, guys, we are buckled in and committed to giving you guys all of the discussion, whether that means we fit it within an hour or not. So we may do this again. But Allie,
I like it. Let us know how you guys like this second hour that we do. I think it's great.
We're doing it. All right, guys, we love you. God bless you. Make sure you get out there. Don't believe the hype on mainstream media. You keep it locked to Open Mic Ladies. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.
Bye.